Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael's here, one rental at a time. And I have a question for my followers right out the gate. When you were in school, did you sit in the back of the room like me, or were you one of the front row people? I'm just curious. I want to know who my followers are. Did you go front row, middle? Did you go in the back? For me, I was always kind of back row, right near the exit. That was always my goal. But anyways, I digress. It is Friday, August 12th, I think. And this is your daily financial news. I'm not in my studio, obviously. I have pages of notes, so we are just going to go through them as I read the articles. Again, the daily financial news is for you. This is what I read in the last 24 hours. Number one, looks like the Royal Bank of Canada is talking down the Canadian housing market. Looks like they are calling for the biggest crash in 40 years. Yes, folks. The Royal Bank of Canada is pointing at the Canadian housing market as a sign of pain. If you've seen any of my recent videos on the Canadian housing market, I agree they are in some pain. And the fact that they have this exotic arms with trigger rates is a problem. If I understand these correctly, if rates get to a certain level, all types of loans will reset. And that could create forced sellers. If you remember anything about the 2008 crash in the United States, it was the forced sellers and the cascading of forced sellers that caused years and years of pain. I'm afraid for the Canadian housing market. Now, obviously, the government leadership could come in, snap their fingers, do extend and pretend, all of those things. But at the moment, not feeling good about the Canadian housing market. Right now, the Royal Bank of Canada is risking or saying that, hey, 25% downside is possible. Next up, it looks like we got a lot of good inflation news this week. Most of that is obviously in energy, gas, oil, all of those things. Looks like groceries. Groceries are up 13% this year. That is the highest since 1979. As someone who experienced 1979 and powdered milk, all I got to say is, yuck. There's not much about the 1970s that were any fun, so yuck. Mortgage rates popped over 5% again. The time sub 5 was short and brief. If you liked it, you locked it, according to Matt the Mortgage Guy. Hopefully, if you're in the market for a mortgage, you took advantage of that. But yep, rates are above 5%. 10-year note, where's it going? It went up the last couple of days. It is down this morning. We really have to watch this. There seems to be a lot of tug and pull between the bond market, right? Our foreign governments and foreign countries coming in and buying the 10-year. What is going on? This is something we're going to have to watch for a while. Looks like BlackRock has launched a private trust to give clients access to Bitcoin. This was really first announced by Coinbase, a week ago, that this might be in the works, right? Coinbase talked about a relationship with BlackRock, so this is coming. On the earnings front, we heard from Six Flags, big miss, miss top, miss bottom, weak attendance down 22%. Folks, if people are stopped going to amusement parks, we could be in for some pain, and my Q3, Q4 recession call is feeling pretty good. Ralph Lauren beat top, beat bottom. Apparently, there's a lot of us going back to the office, and we need to buy new clothes because, hey, we've all probably gained a little bit of weight in the shutdown. Grant Cardone is out talking about housing. Grant Cardone, of course, says, don't buy a home. Don't buy a home unless you can afford to waste money. Wow, that's a catchy title, right? Don't buy a home unless you can afford to waste money. Obviously, what is he talking about? Homes don't cash flow. No duh. Homes are expensive to maintain. Put it on the landlord. And, of course, there are limited tax benefits. He is in bonus depreciation, cost seg. He is playing a very different game. I will admit that buying a home and stretching and getting right on the knife's edge is not a good idea. But I think we have all seen the numbers that if you're a homeowner, your total assets are much better as a homeowner. But again, don't get too risky, right? Don't get maximum kind of loan stuff. Looks like with the rise in food costs, 36% of adults are admitting to have to dip into savings to afford just everyday expenses, which is pretty scary. Don't know if you've seen this, but it looks like we are starting to see muddy waters of housing. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I thought July 20th was a big day. That was the day that National Association of Realtors put out the June numbers. July numbers will not be any better. Looks like new listings are down. New listings are down 11.8% year on year. That is pretty crazy. Realtor.com put out some weekly data. I wish I had my whiteboard, but I don't, so I will try to talk through this. They put out data for 7/16, July 16, July 23rd, and July 30th. This is what's going on. First, median list price, basically up 15%. All right, these are year-on-year numbers. New listings. New listings, remember, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th, so 3 separate weeks. New listings are down. Down 3%, down 6%, down 8%. But watch this. This is important. Active listings. Active listings are up. 29%, 30%, 30%. So what the hell does this mean? Well, it means that sellers are sitting on their homes, right? We have supply lock-in, right? We have interest rate lock-in that I've talked about. I've talked about supply destruction, and now it is happening. And we have demand destruction. The Fed broke housing, folks. The Fed broke housing. They're killing supply and killing demand at the same time. Hence, active listings are up. They just are, right? New listings are down, active listings are up. That means that buyers and sellers are not agreeing. We will see more cancellations, more expireds. It is going to be a very, very messy market. Again, the Fed broke housing, they broke supply, and they broke demand. That's just, it's not supposed to happen that way, but it has, and we need to deal with it. Redfin is out talking about sellers are pulling back. They took a shot. Like we talked about in several videos, I thought the data the last month was very messy, noisy. There was silt in the water. Thank you. Shout out to the viewer who told me muddy water is silt. I had no idea. But basically, you couldn't make a prediction because you had a lot of wish pricing going on. So again, sellers are pulling back. They are canceling. Hey, I'm not going to sell my home for what I want. I'm just going to stay here. Of course you're going to stay there. You have a 2.7% interest rate. Why the hell would you leave? You'd be a fool to leave. So again, lastly, from Redfin, pending sales are down 16% year on year. Folks, yes, the housing market is broken. Transactions are crashing. They just are. A couple other things. We got some more earnings. Toast, beat top, beat bottom, and raised forecast. Poshmark, beat top, missed bottom, gave weak forecast. And then Illumia, missed top, missed bottom, and gave a very, very weak forecast. Lastly, I've talked about if you are in your job getting close to revenue. Got a screenshot from the Google sales team, Google Cloud sales team. Google Cloud leadership basically saying, hey, if results don't change, we are going to, there's going to be blood in the streets. Their words, not mine. Folks, this is what happens. This is what happens in sales, right? The economy turns. You were living high on the hog for a while. There will be, if you're not close to revenue, if you're not farming an install base, getting your clients to buy new stuff, there will be some entire products that just get shut down. So pretty crazy stuff. Last thing I read this morning was an article about Argentina. Argentina, folks, has hyperinflation. Remember, we've had this discussion in the past. What is hyperinflation? 50% a month, remember? Yes, 8.5, 9.1 is bad. It is not hyperinflation. Argentina's monthly inflation, 70%. I can't even fathom 70% inflation. So again, folks, this is the Daily Financial News. I'm sorry I'm not in my studio, but I want to keep the streak of doing the work. That is what One Rental at a Time is about doing the work. I will never give you permission to sit on the sidelines. There are folks out there that want to tell you to just sit down. The market's going to crash. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. Trust me, trust me, trust me. I will not do that. Get a buy box. Look at your buy box every day. Do the work. I never promised it would be easy, but the deals are out there. As the market tones down, the silt in the water floats to the bottom, as it naturally will. It will become clear who the motivated sellers are, where you can get closing costs, rate buy down, don't pay list price. The market is coming to you. Keep doing the work. I do not give you permission, no matter what you believe, to not do the work. You have to do the work. You just do. Hope you appreciate that, folks. We'll be doing the daily financial news again tomorrow. Not sure where, but I will make sure we do it. Bye-bye. Take care.